Apple's keynote for WWDC 25 just concluded, and I'm here to talk about the biggest things, because they're kind of exciting. Okay, first of all, the rumors are correct. Every Apple OS is going to be named 26 going forward, and then 27 and 28 and so forth. This will unify the names of iPadOS, watchOS, macOS and all of the OSs, so it will be much easier to figure out what the latest version is supposed to be. Second big thing, design. Flat is out, glass is in, baby! A new universal design across all platforms to make multi-device use more harmonious. So the new icons and new design elements have this glassy look to them. In fact, Apple calls it liquid glass. They are almost 3D-like and they react to on-screen content as well as to device movement with reflections moving around, I guess sometimes. And the liquid glass elements will intelligently adapt between light and dark backgrounds. And the new customizable home screens, you know, from iOS 18, the ones that everybody hated, now benefit from the liquid glass because you can have transparent and fully transparent apps and icons. The winner of the WWDC keynote was definitely the iPad. I guess that's why Apple saved it for last, but I am super excited about this because I do use an iPad on the daily. So of course it gets the liquid glass redesign, a new phone app that will sync with your iPhone, and AI features that we're going to talk about later. But the big thing, actual, real multitasking on an iPad. It actually kind of looks like macOS. No, not Stage Manager. You get the three dots, man, the three colored dots at the top of the window. So apps will, by default, open in full screen, so if you like that core iPad experience, nothing's changed for you. However, they do have a handle at the bottom right, so as soon as you swipe it, you can resize an app and reposition it anywhere on the screen. The iPad will remember where that app was and how it was sized. Even if you close it, next time it will open the same location, which is pretty cool. Now, Apple did not mention how many of these apps you can have on screen, but we saw like 4 or 5 at a time on screen. And when you want to open a new one, you can swipe up on the touchpad like you would on a Mac, and the apps clear out like they would on a Mac. Then when you tap a new one from the home screen, it opens up on top. This is the closest thing to macOS we've gotten on an iPad, and I couldn't be happier. People at the office will finally stop laughing at me when I come into work with just an iPad. The Files app has also gotten small but very important updates. You can now have an actual list view with actual data on the files, like you can sort them by size and time, date modified, and so on and so forth, like you're on an actual operating system. And you can change the colors of different folders and customize them with emoji, so you can very easily see what folder's what, and you can add your favorite folder to your taskbar. So imagine just having your downloads folder down there for easy access. Last about the iPadOS, look, I know this is kind of niche, but I'm super excited about it. You can finally choose audio input and output devices. So previously, when you attach an external microphone or audio interface to your iPad Pro, it would automatically switch to that device for everything. Output, input, anything and everything. This of course creates problems because you can have a mic here, your speakers here, you may have an audio device attached that doesn't have a microphone at all, and then you cannot use the mic of the iPad itself, and so on and so forth. For content creators and any type of media professionals, it was an absolute nightmare, and you can now actually choose different input and output devices, which I very much appreciate. Also, small point, you will now be able to use your AirPods to record studio quality voice, again for content creators. Now, I'm beginning to hate that studio quality moniker because what type of studio microphone, you know, never mind. I guess it's gonna sound good, we'll test it. Moving on to iOS, now called iOS 26. Now, the updates here are mainly visual and somewhat underwhelming. Of course, everything is made of liquid glass. What Apple showed us looked very, very pretty. Like the new lock screen. Now, many people use their own personal pictures in the lock screen, and now the time widget, the clock widget of the lock screen will detect how much empty space there is within your picture, and it can adapt to it, stretch, or minimize itself. But the cooler thing is the new spatial scene feature, where AI will analyze your photo with depth of field and then transform it into this trippy 3D-like thing. So the app icons are of course made of liquid glass, which looks lovely in dark mode, but there's a new all clear mode which makes them look like actual glass. I'll be having fun with that one for sure. The camera app, a lot of my colleagues were happy to learn that it's super simplified now. Like, everything is a viewfinder and you only get the tiny shutter button and a small tab where you choose, are you taking pictures or do you want to go to video mode? Then you swipe in and you get the extra buttons and modes that we currently have cluttering the iOS 18 camera app. I'm guessing this move is because the new camera control button kinda lets you do your favorite toggles with the hardware. So yeah, a much cleaner camera app. While I'm on that point, a much cleaner Safari. I love the new look. Again, with the new liquid glass design, you just have a few floating elements and your entire iPhone screen is an actual web page. I love it. Wait till you hear about the Photos app. Now, everyone hated the iOS 18 Photos app. I guess Apple took note because another redesign is coming. The Photos app comes with two tabs: Library and Collections. So, in Library you see your photos, in Collections you see everything else. We're gonna see how that works, but it kinda sounds like it's gonna be much less cluttered than what we have right now. Oh, you can also use the Photos app to look at your pictures in 3D mode, just like you can on your lock screen. So, big updates to FaceTime in your phone app. First of all, the FaceTime design elements are also gone. Your entire screen is just the FaceTime call. They will be floating, but when you stop interacting with the screen, the elements just disappear, which is pretty cool. Secondly, Live Translate. Now this will work for messages, for FaceTime calls, and for phone calls. In messages and in FaceTime you get text translation, subtitles, and on phone calls you get actual AI-generated voice to translate whenever you're talking with someone with a different language than yours. Now, both parties will be hearing the translation voice, so you both know when and what is being said, and we've already seen this on the Galaxy S24 Ultra last year. It was a bit clunky then though, we'll see how Apple pulls it off. More about the phone app, it now has a unified page with a new layout which shows you your favorites, your recents, and your voicemails on one page, so it's easier to get to stuff. AI voicemail summaries are also there, so we'll see. Be ready to say Google did that first. For the next two features, we've got AI call screening, which is a spam risk detector. Basically, whenever an unknown number calls you, you have the option to let the AI pick up for you. It will interrogate the other party and then relay to you via text what the call is about. You can then choose to answer or hang up. The other one is Hold Assist. Again, we've seen that on Google's Pixels. When you're holding on a line, waiting for a live operator, you can let your iPhone hold for you, set it aside, and then when someone picks up, you'll get an actual ring, so you know to also pick up and talk to the live human. Messages got small but kind of important upgrades, so you can have custom wallpapers for different messages to make all your iMessage conversations ugly. You can create polls within group threads, which is cool. Apple also mentioned that the AI might detect when a poll is needed for the conversation, which sounded a bit creepy. I know it's all on-device stuff, but come on. There's now Apple Cash integrated into iMessage, so it should be easier to just send money to someone. And lastly, typing indicators for multiple people in iMessage group threads. You will be able to clean the clutter with new iMessage filters. For example, you can filter out the messages from all unknown numbers, so you can very easily see the actual conversations that matter to you, but AI will still detect time-sensitive messages from unknown numbers and still show them to you, which is pretty cool. Let's hope it's reliable. Apple's Genmoji grows up a little bit. Instead of generating a new emoji from scratch, you can now combine two emoji into one fierce mutation. Again, that's something you had on Google's Emoji Kitchen. And Image Playground gets new styles from ChatGPT, like oil paintings. There are a couple of cool updates with Apple Music. It can now help you with specific pronunciation with lyrics. For example, if you're trying to sing a song in a foreign language, which I think is pretty cool. I did learn some German thanks to Rammstein back in the day. And there's a new auto mix feature which will fade your songs in and out using beat matching, making DJs be out of a job. So I guess another win for AI. And you can now pin your favorite stuff at the top of the Apple Music homepage, which I appreciate. So artists, playlists, whatever, great. Okay, ready for a new app? It's a games app. Yep, Apple's push into gaming solidifies now with a new games app, which is available on iPhone, iPad, macOS, and I think even tvOS. Of course, it looks lovely in the new liquid glass design, and it has been designed to look good in portrait or landscape. So what's the Games app? It's basically your game launcher. Of course, it has your favorite games, updates. If there's a season for a game you have installed on your device, you're gonna see the event displayed there. You can track high scores with your friends, and if you have a controller attached, the actual games app can be navigated through with a controller, so it's gonna behave kind of sort of like a portable console, and Apple has been going in that direction for a while now, so you know, it's a natural evolution. Since the games app is available on macOS Tahoe as well, it's Tahoe, I know, I expect that everything you do on it will be synced between devices. Visual intelligence also gets upgraded to recognizing stuff from screenshots, kind of like Google Lens or Google Circle to search. So you take a screenshot, you use visual intelligence to recognize a product or an event, and it can detect location, time, date, or where to get tickets. Or you can feed the screenshot directly to ChatGPT and get more contextual information about the objects or events or happenings in the specific photo. Apple Maps is getting a bit smarter. It will now identify your favorite routes, remember them. You can even view them in a Maps widget on the home screen. The widget will show you current expected commute time, and you may even get notifications if there is a congestion on your usual routes to let you know that you may run late if you don't leave right now. You can now save your visited places in Maps if you choose to do so. It's a lovely, creepy feature that I always keep off on Google Maps, but I'd be lying if I said it isn't useful sometimes. The Wallet app's expansion into being everything new is expanding. You can now save your passport to the Apple Wallet. It will only work in certain locations, none were disclosed right now. It will work for in-States flights, and supported TSA checkpoints will let you pass through easier with your iPhones, but Apple did note it's not a replacement for your physical passport. Okay, what's new with the Apple Watch? Of course, watchOS 26. Everything is gonna be 26. The new liquid glass design, yada yada, of course. Then there's the new Workouts app. Now Apple's gonna use on-device AI to figure out your fitness history and where your limits are at. It's called Workout Buddy, and it will help push you to do a little bit more each session. It's built using voice data from Fitness Plus trainers, and yes, you will get your motivation through AI-generated voice lines. Beep bop, run faster! The Smart Stack, which is the smart widget that predicted what you're gonna use from the watch before, is getting even smarter. It's now improved with Apple Intelligence and has more contextual points, so it can detect, combine, and figure out exactly what you need right now, including automatically lowering the volume of your watch notifications when you're in a silent environment. Another big thing, Apple Notes is now coming to the Apple Watch, so you can view all of the notes you have on your iCloud, but also create new notes directly on the watch. And macOS 26, of course it's not 26, it's macOS Tahoe. We get the liquid glass, we get the live translation because there's a new phone app, we get the new image playground styles and the FaceTime live translation, and the customizable folders like we saw in iPadOS. You can change their colors or slap emoji on them. Slight update to continuity, any live activities, the live notifications from your iPhone are also now in the menu bar of your Mac. All of your call content is synced to the Mac with the aforementioned phone app, and you get the call screening and the live translation in the macOS phone app as well. Lastly, just a few big announcements around Vision OS 26. I know that not a lot of people have the Apple Vision Pro, but here we go. We now get spatial widgets, which are pretty cool. They are digital frames that you can place in your AR world, which can be weather, music, or photo frames, or third-party apps if they develop such. The cool thing is that Vision OS will remember where in the world you placed your widgets and still have them there between sessions. 2D photos will now be spatialized thanks to AI and depth detecting algorithms, and you can browse websites with spatial scenes. Just toggle it and the Vision Pro will make the pictures within the app sorta kinda 3D, which is pretty cool. Personas, the creepy feature from before, have been made to look definitely more realistic. Still creepy, but less so. And would you look at that, Sony is bringing support for its VR controllers to the Apple Vision Pro. Again, showing us that push that Apple is making into gaming, but also pretty weird to see a Sony-Apple partnership. I wonder if anything else is cooking there, because Apple did show the iPhone linked to a DualShock controller and not like an Xbox or a generic controller, so something to look forward to. Alright, those are the big things on the WWDC keynote. Of course, the iPad update was... The rest is... Welding? Kinda okay? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see more tech news or our opinions and presentations whenever we get to test the betas. And I'll see you next time. Right? No, come back! Ah!